The round robin consists of 3 nutritionally themed games, physical education games that work on learners' fundamental movement skills. So it would ideally take place outside on a sports oval. You'll need lots of room to move. If the weather didn't permit, you'd take that inside into a school gym or school hall. And the round robin could either be held with the entire year level divided up into different groups, or alternatively it could just be one class that move from one game to the next as a class. The first game is the healthy grocery shopping bag game. So in this, you divide students into teams and line them up behind a marker on the opposite side from the playing area. So you'd scatter bean bags in the playing area, lining shopping bags up in front of teams, and you'd have one bag for each team. When the whistle blows, the first player from each team would run and grab a bean bag. If they pick up a healthy one, they'd put it in their shopping bag. If they got an unhealthy one, they'd put it in another team's bag. If a team has an unhealthy bean bag thrown in their bag, they must complete an exercise. So taped to the bag, you'd have a little instructional sheet with a list of exercises. So they'd do that to burn off the unhealthy food. Once that's done, then they'd move on to the next team member. So when the team member returns to the back of the line, the next member would go. And when the time runs out, the team with the most healthy bags would win. The next game would be the Fill My Plate Frenzy, and it would be a very similar setup. You would have students divided into teams and lined up behind a marker on the opposite side of the playing area. You'd assign a few class members with roles of either being a junk food tagger or a health food tagger. You'd scatter the beanbags in the playing area, and you'd have the big plate diagram on the far side of the play area furthest from teams. So students would work together as teams in a relay style format, gathering the beanbags and placing them in the correct food groups on their plates. The junk food taggers and the health food taggers would be roaming around freely. Junk food taggers would tag those gathering the beanbags, who would then have to freeze until unfrozen by a health food tagger. And then the first team to fill its plate with the correct number of servings from each food group would win. The third and final game would be the Health Foods Obstacle Course. So there's no teams in this one. It would just be each student working their way through the obstacle course. So there'd be 5 stations. The first station would be the popcorn hop and pop, where players hop on one leg at a time through the hula hoops in a zigzag pattern, jumping up and down like kernels popping. The second station would be called Apples on Top. So this is a balancing obstacle where players balance a red bean bag on their head as they travel through a course. The third obstacle is called Let Us Sleep, so there'd be markers, ideally green ones, and players would hop across the markers to get to station number 4, which would be where you'd have the Skittles set up as cartons, so like milk cartons, and players would knock over the empty cartons by rolling a ball. And then the final station would be an egg relay, so players would carry a simulated egg on a spoon between 2 points.